On this segment, we're talking with Tim Leach of Leach Heating and Cooling, and we're talking about living greener. And there's nothing that consumes more electricity, gas, fuel of any type than what's in this room, right?
That is correct, yes, sir.
Okay, so when we're talking greener, a lot of people might think, well, if you want to be green, you get solar, you get a geothermal system, but how can an average person make their house greener?
You know, one of the biggest things that we can do is we can keep our heating and cooling equipment clean. Just keep it as clean as possible. A furnace, there's maintenance that should be done on an annual basis. A furnace should be cleaned in the fall. Air conditioner should be cleaned in the spring. The cleaner it is, the more efficient it is. Filters are huge. A lot of people do not understand that the dirtier a filter gets, the more inefficient your furnace becomes. And so you want to keep that filter as clean as you possibly can. A high efficiency filter, a nice 5-inch filter, as the one we're looking at here. This one's down on the base, but okay. You know, you get a whole lot longer time frame out of that filter. Usually you get somewhere between 9 and 12 months out of a filter change.
So an air filter is going to, a bigger air filter is going to let more air go through it. So the motor's not working as hard and you're getting better airflow through the house, right?
Yep, there's more surface area on a larger filter. So okay. It takes a longer period of time for that filter to become clogged and to do that. The only time you have to watch even a nicer, higher efficient air filter is if you have a home with a lot of pets, you have a lot of pet dander, they tend to clog up quicker no matter what kind of a filter you have, right. You know. So, but they're great. Anybody that puts one in, they love it. They filter a lot smaller particle from the air as well. And you know, the other thing is a humidifier pad. When we talk about being efficient, the way you want to be efficient is not run any more water across that humidifier pad than you have to. A lot of people, as with air filters, humidifier pads do not get changed. When they don't get changed, depending on the water that you have, a pad will become clogged. And when it does, you're just wasting water by running water, and you're not getting the true effect. Okay. And when the air cannot blow across that filter because it's clogged with calcium and buildup and things like that, that's when you're just running water for no purpose.
Yeah, and you're running it right down the drain.
You are, yeah, and you're not getting the full effect.
Okay, so humidity control is another big thing for a house.
It is, and you know, humidity, you want to maintain a level of about 38 to 40%. Mm-hmm. That's safe. There are those that tell you to keep about 50, but we see homes with 50% humidity. It's just a little too much humidity. So if you're in that 38 to 40% range, your home is going to feel warmer. When you maintain a proper level of humidity in a home, you just feel warmer. So sometimes you're able to keep your thermostat down just a little, you know, maybe a degree or two cooler, I guess, at that point, and it helps conserve energy.
What are some other items that they might be able to add to help the system run greener?
You know, a thermostat, a smart thermostat is really, they're helping a lot these days. Smart thermostats come into play from an aspect that they'll look for occupancy in the home. There's sensors that sit sometimes around the home, or maybe just a sensor on the thermostat. Okay. And that if it sees no occupancy within a certain period of time, most I think are about a 2-hour period of time, it starts to set that thermostat back. And does that automatically. You come back home, it sees occupancy within the home, it now starts to raise that back. Most of those are going to be a Wi-Fi thermostat, so you have the ability to look at that temperature while you're gone, and come back to the home, or on the way back to the home, you can adjust however you'd like.
When I was growing up, it was you turn it on or you turn it off, and
right.
You're trying to keep it somewhere around 70 degrees, right. But you can actually program it, plus have it even as far as advanced geofencing, where when somebody leaves the house, it can actually turn it down, that type of thing.
Absolutely. There are thermostats that have that geofencing capability, and all that geofencing says is that When you get within a certain distance away from the home, it takes a signal from your cell phone. It automatically starts to set the thermostat back. Once you get back within a certain distance, it automatically starts to bring that temperature back up. So you're kept at the comfort level that you want to be when you're occupying the home.
So talk to me about zoning.
What it's all about is you only heat and cool the rooms that you want or need to heat and cool at the time you're there. Typically, it's lesser expensive if it's done upon the building of a new home. A retrofit zoning application can be done in most cases, not every case, but now if you don't need to heat 3 rooms of your home or half of your home, maybe your kids have moved away, you're just not going to heat that, or you're not going to cool that portion of your home. So obviously that's going to bring your utility bill down, going to make us greener in the process.
So there's a system that you put in quite often. Instead of zoning with one furnace, you can actually do multiple.
You bet. It's known as a mini split system.
Okay.
And really what it is you can put as many internal units as you like in as many rooms as you like, with very few outdoor units. They hang high on the wall. That's the most common version of that. They compare in efficiencies to a geothermal unit.
Wow.
Without going into deep explanation of that efficiency, there's what's called a COP, coefficient of performance. It just basically states that for every unit of electricity that you put in, you get so many units from the earth when we're talking about a geothermal system. This is what we call an air source heat pump. So we're getting those units from the equipment and from the outdoor air. And we just don't have the cost of drilling the holes in the earth at that point.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people know about geothermal is the cost of that geothermal raises because we have to drill those holes in the earth.
Those systems, often we see those like in a house that has an attic that they're not quite getting enough. That's where I see them the most.
Right. And that's a great application. So if you had a bonus room above a garage, if you had a third level that, as you just said, was an attic space at one time, and now you've converted that to a living space, then maybe you put a couple of different heads. As we talked, you could put one in a bonus room, you could put one in an attic space. Maybe you have a basement that's cold in the winter, you want to keep it warm, you put a head in the basement. They run at a very low rate of speed. They're what they call modulating. Modulating just means that it meets the need that you have for that day. So if it's a very mild day outside, the thing runs at a very low rate. As it gets colder or it gets warmer, they'll modulate up and give you much more capacity to meet the need for that day. And technology in this equipment has just come so far. You know, it's so much different than it used to be.
Right, and it's a house upgrade compared to a window unit that sticks out your window.
It is, absolutely. Yeah, we call those window rattlers, and not a lot of people want those. Right. we can mount them in very discreet places. And
okay, talk to me about heat pumps.
Yep. The way an air conditioner works, an air conditioner removes the heat from your house in the summertime and pushes it outside. We reverse that process in the wintertime, and we take a mechanical piece of equipment, which is our air conditioner. We reverse the flow of that refrigerant, and now we push that heat inside from an outdoor unit through any heat that's in the air and through a mechanical process that takes place in the compressor. If you can have a heat pump heat your home down to even 20 degrees, 25 degrees, our average temperatures in Illinois are 15 to 20 degrees.
Any other ways that we can make our homes greener?
One of the big things we talk about when we talk about keeping indoor equipment clean, is we want to keep outdoor equipment clean as well. So our air conditioner, whether it's an air conditioner or it's a heat pump, that air conditioner pulls air through the sides and exits the air through the top. As it's pulling the air through the sides, there is cottonwood. Tons of people have cottonwood.
I have cottonwood.
Yep. You have cottonwood, yep. So cottonwood comes in, it plugs those, the fins in the side of the air conditioner. and your air conditioner is now not efficient at all. It may be a very nice air conditioner, may be very efficient, but when you cannot move the air across those coils as is needed, it's a very inefficient air conditioner.
Yeah, not to say you can't damage
Yeah.
your system from having it clogged too.
Right. And the refrigerant charge, systems when installed properly should not leak refrigerant, but it happens sometimes, and you get it to an older unit maybe, but you want to keep that refrigerant charge, so that comes into that maintenance once every spring, once every fall. Keep that refrigerant charge, and then it's working at its peak efficiency. If it's clean and if it's full of refrigerant where it needs to be, then it's going to work as efficiently as it can.
Whether you're a green person or not, green usually saves you a little bit of green.
That's right.
So that's why a lot of people are converting to living a more green lifestyle. And a lot of these points are great for how you can save money living a little bit greener along with it. We're here with Tim Leach of Leach & Company Heating and Cooling. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.